Ding, ding, ding. North London Derby, round 2. James and Sean go at it. This is Red Card Radio.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three normally friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. With me tonight, that's Brad. He's our referee tonight. And down below, that is Sean. He supports Tottenham. Hello, boys. Good day. Good to see you again, Sean.
I was going to say, Sean, I'm here. You forgot about me, but that's okay.
Well, you said normally friends. Just because you're wrong doesn't mean I'd think of you less as a friend.
I think we'll let the people decide who they think is wrong and who they think is right. Because this podcast will require some audience participation in the comments below. You'll have to let us know what you guys think of all of the incidences that we bring up, because there was an action-packed weekend of Premier League football that came up this weekend. We had lots of good games up and down the country, and we will get to a good number of them. I'm certainly not promising that we'll talk about all of them, because there is one that is salient to at least 2/3 of this group here, and then we'll spend some time on that. But before we get into all of that, if you're just stumbling across us, if the YouTube algorithm blessed you with this video, if you could hit the subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell, drop a comment down below, join our Discord. It's in the description below. If you're on one of the podcast sites, thank you for listening. Thank you for clicking. If you could follow, 5-star review if your platform so allows. And everyone, if you hit that share button, put it up on your socials, and also just, text it to somebody. Those things really do help us out. So with that in mind, what we got tonight, we got a couple comments that we will get into pertaining to last week's episode before we really dig into the meat of this episode, which is going to be about match week 35. So to kind of put a bow on the FA Cup semifinal situation, of course, you'll remember if you've been paying attention to English football, Chelsea had the penalty shout against Man City that was not called, also not seen because it went out for a goal kick. But Jimmy agrees with all of us that it should have been a handball, and Chelsea should have gotten a penalty. But he also wants us to remember who the chief of the Premier League match officials are, and that's Howard Webb. And you'll also remember that he is a Manchester United homer. So perhaps he's got a little bit of love for just Manchester generally.
Yep.
I mean, I don't really think there's much to say. It was such
I will
a
push
handball.
back. I would push back against that slightly. If he is a United homer, he cannot be a City homer.
True.
That is not possible.
In Jimmy's defense, he did just say Manchester homer. I added the context of Manchester United homer because he was just afraid of Alex Ferguson. And so he just did whatever Alex Ferguson wanted him to do, Howard Webb, that is. And so I added that
Fair
context. Enough. But he is from the greater Manchester area, like 95% of the Premier League are. Premier League referees are. Will had a comment about my, I supposed that we should adopt the Arsene Wenger rule of getting foreign referees. And Will pushes back on that a little bit about how, we might not really know how good the referees from the other countries are. And he brings up in Italy that the refs suck in Italy as well. And that, fans of Italian football kind of complain about the same things that we complain about with the Italian referees. But he paints the picture that he thinks it's less about explicit biases because of who referees support, and thinks it comes down more to refs being influenced by public and the media to not screw over teams that are title contenders or big teams and things like that. So Jimmy responded and said that he thought that the refs in Germany are good. So perhaps we should import German referees.
Yeah.
Only Germans.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm here for it.
Whatever gets us away from English referees. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that kind of takes care of our comments. Thank you always for dropping those on us. We really do appreciate it. It does help us. We like to talk about them. So really appreciate that. Now we're about 5 minutes into this. So if you're still listening, this is where the fireworks start. So I think we're talking about the North London Derby, right, Brad?
We are. Okay. Right. So I think we should start with Sean. think Sean gets his first out there, because I think Sean has the more spice to this.
Good.
And then we can hear
I'm
James's
glad.
rebuttal.
I'm glad. James, I would like to hear your rebuttal right away. Back in the argument that shall not be named, you said that there was an unnamed Newcastle player that shoved an unnamed Arsenal player in the box and was so incensed about it that we have dubbed it the argument that shall not be named. And you agreed that this is a foul upon foul, no matter what, in any situation. Correct? Am I correct in my summation of your argument in November?
I don't know. I will.
Whoa,
hold on.
Brad?
No. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait,
Whoa.
The judge,
let me,
is that not his
let-
summation?
Let me speak.
Hold on. Let's let him finish
Okay.
and see where this I don't know goes. It probably might come to a conclusion.
I don't remember what I said in November. I'll be completely honest with you. We've done 30 podcasts since then, so I don't necessarily remember. I do believe that
this is the Gabriel Jesus foul.
Yes. No. Okay. Gabriel, this is Joel Linton, 2 hands into Gabriel's back. Gabriel Mongolos' back. I believe that is a foul. To this day, I still believe that Joel Linton fouled Gabriel on that play. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if I said at the time that anytime an offensive player puts 2 hands on a defensive player's back, it's a foul. I don't know if I said that or not. I don't think you know if I said that or not, but I am willing to concede that it's a possibility that I said that in the heat of the moment. And I know where you're going with this. So I
don't think you do.
So, okay. Well then,
all right. So with his back to the ball, Thomas Partey, 2 hands shoved Romero on a header that forcibly sent him backwards because he was already in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Do you deem this to be a foul?
I think it could have been called. I think it could have been called. I really do.
I think it should have been called.
I think it could have been called, but I also think that Romero gets a significant head on the ball, and that Romero, I'm not saying that Partey doesn't change the trajectory.
If he were not shoved,
all I'm saying,
if he were not shoved, it would have been a goal.
All I'm saying is that because Romero gets full contact on it and gets a good head on it, that's why the refs didn't do anything with it. Because if there was a disadvantage, like you know how advantages are called essentially, they would have ruled that there was no disadvantage there, that the advantage was used and gained. And so I don't it looked like a push. I agree with you. I think it looks like a push. And so sure, do I think that you might have some cause to be aggrieved? Possibly, but also you can't.
It looks like a push, he says.
You can't definitively say that it goes in the goal. That's all I'm saying. You can't definitively.
If he were not, it hit the post. If he were not pushed backwards,
maybe he gets pushed.
With full force.
Maybe Partey pushes him precisely in the spot that he needed to head the ball perfectly. You don't know that. I don't know that. So saying
that's a ridiculous claim.
I don't think it's ridiculous. I think it's a ridiculous claim to say that you know empirically that he would have scored it if Partey didn't put hands on him. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying we don't know. I'm saying I'm conceding to you that it could have been called. I'm conceding that, but I'm also conceding the fact that that's never going to get called, and you know it's never going to get called.
That's penalty number 1. All right, to penalty number 2.
Sure, let's line them up, man. Let's line them up.
We got a few here.
You have said that Trossard runs in a direct line.
Okay, so the context for the people.
Give the context.
We're talking about Kulusevski, Trossard in the second half, or is it the first half? It's the first half, right?
Oh, the first half.
It's first half. Kulusevski runs in front of Trossard, and Trossard's legs and Kulusevski's legs come together, and
in the box,
Kulusevski takes another step, falls over. Arsenal then proceed to go score the second right away. Okay. So yes, tell the people what we texted about on Monday.
So James tells me because Trossard is running in a straight line that it is absolutely no way that this could be a foul because he runs in a straight line. So naturally, I think Ange Postecoglou should set up his team to run directly behind every one of every other player on Chelsea and just accidentally clip their heels all over the pitch and then see how many fouls get called.
Your intent.
What does the straight line have to do with anything? Is what I want to know first.
I say this with the utmost respect. You're being intentionally obtuse here. The issue is that
yes, I am
Kulusevski,
because it doesn't make any sense.
Can I just get my one thought?
Sean, you have to. Sean, once if you have asked for a thought, you must let that thought come out. This has to be fair and equitable.
Thank you, Mr.
James. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Kulusevski crosses the path of Trossard. He comes in front of Trossard, and his leg touches Trossard's. If we want to get highly technical here, Kulusevski is the one that initiates contact on Trossard. Trossard doesn't kick Kulusevski. Kulusevski's foot is the one that makes contact with Trossard. Trossard is allowed to run. So my issue with your claim is that they are running in parallel, and then one person deviates from that, and then you're penalizing the person who is still running in the same way, in the same manner in which they are, and you're penalizing that person. He didn't go out of his way. He didn't change the path in which he was running on, and he doesn't kick Kulusevski.
I have a question here.
Sure.
Because Kulusevski was on the
he was on the goal side.
On goal side, right?
Yeah.
He was on goal side.
And
so you could say he could be offside. So because he's running, hold on, let me finish. Because he's running in a parallel line, he then cannot try to get back onside.
I didn't say that. He can do whatever he wants, but you can't penalize.
Said he can't cross the path.
No. I'm saying he can do whatever he wants. But what I'm saying is you can't penalize Trossard for Kulusevski coming across him and their legs touching. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna tell you. Every one of your of the challenges this upcoming game on Thursday.
Yeah.
The Tottenham Spurs player runs behind the Chelsea player.
Yeah.
And just happens to be running, just out for a evening jog, as James would say this is going on, in a straight line, as James would say. And your players deviate and our heels happen to come together. Would you be aggrieved if they fell over and there was no call?
Yes, but there probably won't be
especially in the box. Especially in the box.
You are failing to grasp any context.
A trip is a trip.
It wasn't a trip though. It was a coming together. At worst, it's a coming together.
Okay, a coming together that involved an offensive player who was in control of the ball,
no, he wasn't.
Falling over in the box.
He didn't have the ball.
Yes, he was.
No, he did
not
have the ball. He absolutely did not have the ball.
He had just passed the ball and was going back to receive a give and go.
He didn't have the ball. The ball is off him. It careens off him. He passes it. Whatever happens, he doeson have the ball. So you can't claim that he's in possession of the ball.
Well, he would have had
in possession of the ball.
He would have immediately had the ball.
No, he wouldn't.
Since immediately after that trip, going to the ground, he tries to pass the ball and successfully does to Madison.
It takes him like 3 steps to get the ball.
Gets the ball. Falling down.
He doesn't have the ball.
This is a trip.
You can't say he's in possession.
Hold on.
Can't say he's in possession.
James, this is your warning. This is your warning. You must allow the rebuttal to be in full. Before you can come back.
In the box. This is a trip in the box. And it doesn't matter if it's inadvertent. You know what Rice didn't mean to do is kick Ben Davies in the ding ding. That's not his intent when he did it, but it's still a foul. Trossard didn't mean to trip Kulusevski, but he did it.
Trossard did not trip Kulusevski.
He did not mean to.
He did not.
They ran it. He clipped the heel like a cheetah on the savannah.
No, what?
That's how they take over.
Well, you're making it sound like Trossard sticks his foot out and gets Kulusevski. Kulusevski's leg hits Trossard's shin. You can't manipulate your shin to take somebody out. What are you talking
If
about?
you run close and if you run close enough to him, you know what? Let's go for a jog, and I'll run close enough behind you and see if I can trip you up.
Sure. I'm sure you can. Let's drive in cars.
Have
Let's
you ever
drive in-
ran before?
Have you
Like your legs go back, like when you're done
absolutely,
striding.
Sean.
You know?
Absolutely. I'm quite athletic. I do
Are you
lots
in
of
control?
running.
Are you in
Hey,
control of
guys.
your leg when you're doing this?
You guys,
Yeah, actually you
Yeah.
are. When you're running forward, you're in control of your legs. You know what you're not in control of? Where your shin is. When someone else kicks your shin. Look, Sean, think about it like this. Two cars are driving in parallel. The other one comes in front of the other one and hits the one that's behind. Who's at fault?
You
The
know,
person changing lanes.
no, Ricardo was at
you know what
fault.
you do when someone cuts you off in traffic is hit the brakes.
Oh, come on, that was funny.
That's you. What if you?
Yeah,
What if you
that's
don't
exactly
have time?
what you do.
What if you don't have
Either
time?
way.
No. What if you don't have time? What if you don't have time to hit the brakes? Like
You always have time if somebody
that's absurd and you know it. Okay, wide receiver is running, defensive back is running in parallel with him. Wide receiver cuts in front of the DB, doesn't have possession of the ball. The ball's in the air. The wide receiver clips the leg of the DB. You're getting upset.
pass interference.
No, never.
Okay.
Yep.
That's inadvertent. That is not that is a coming together. That's not a foul. Basketball, player is running up the court, runs in front of a defensive player and gets hit. That's not a foul. In no sport ever is that a foul.
Gets it.
No, it's never a foul. It's never a foul.
All right, Brad.
I don't think we ever said this. Arsenal won the game 3-2, or I should say 2-3 because it was at Tottenham. We forgot that part. Tottenham did make it spicy at the end.
It should have been 4-2.
We do. You mean 3-3?
Or it should have been 4-2.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. I see what you did there. Okay. You have one final statement to defend whichever side of this you are on. So, as we started with Sean, I think the final argument first we go to James, and then to Sean.
Nah, that's not how.
Moving on.
That's not how debates work. If he's in the affirmative, he's got to go first, and I get the final rebuttal. But I will go.
When you're moderator, you can decide.
Arsenal dominated this game until David Raya passes to Christian Romero. The Tottenham didn't have a sniff in this game. Arsenal thoroughly dominated them until a single goalkeeping error. And then if it's not, the scoreline looks really embarrassing until Declan Rice unfortunately kicks Ben Davies. If that doesn't happen, the game ends 3-1 and no one's butthurt over this. Well, I mean, Sean's butthurt over it because of all of the injustices. But Arsenal dominated this game. Spurs didn't have a kick.
All right. Fantastic arguments. Sean, your closing arguments for this Spurs Arsenal 2-3 matchup.
Closing.
He's gonna bring up the stats. He's gonna look at the stats and say, "Look at all these stats: possession and passes and shots. Look at how
we dominated. We dominated every moderator. Can you please get him out of my rebuttal?
Except for the eye test.
Finished.
They dominated everything except for the eye test and the scoreline. Just
James, your statement is over. This argument is ending. Please allow him to have his points.
They were thoroughly dominated in the full 90, including their first goal, which was an own goal. You're welcome. We gave you a gift.
True. I can't claim that. I can't claim that, right? Can't claim own goals.
Your second goal was a gift because it was on the back of what should have been a penalty. But Michael Oliver's too much of a coward to call the goal back to give a penalty, even though the VAR told him, hey, this is probably something you should look at, and he ignored it. So, PGMOL, you cowards, call it back. Possession, ours. Shots, ours. Shots on goal, ours. Yellow cards, ours. What? Imagine, even though the fouls went your favor, there were 13-11 with 2 yellows on our side. Imagine that. Everything went in our favor. We were better on the pitch except for the refs.
Okay. Fantastic argument. The score line still stands though. This was Arsenal's 3 points. James, I gave him the last statement because you have the table. Okay. I think that's fair. But to go on this, you know what, Sean? I agree with you. PGMOL is out for it against the Spurs. And they gifted Villa a point in the matchup with Chelsea. Maybe, hey, James, you pointed out something to me about the foul that was called on Badiashile, that I didn't realize and why it was a foul. He used his shoulder and not both hands. From the argument that must not be named. That's 100% not a foul. And it hasn't been called a foul. That's why I'm so frustrated. So the Villa Chelsea finished 2-2. Villa get up early, 2-0. What was it? I think we made a mistake, and then Madueke was in La La Land, and they just passed around. It was a really good goal. Their second goal was really good. And Chelsea came back, and on the comeback, we have the winning goal in stoppage time again. Awesome header from Disallowed after a pass from Badiashile. It is called back. Here's the thing that annoys me the most. The ref had a clear line of sight on everything that was happening. He saw the play in real time, had direct eyes on it, nobody in the way, no matter what angle you look at from the cameras, and decided that he was wrong when he saw it in live action.
Yeah, I agree with you. What he's essentially admitting to there is that he sucks.
Right.
That's essentially what he's admitting to there, because the only reason VAR is allowed to intervene there is because the VAR thinks he made a clear and obvious error. And so he could be brave and go to the video monitor and say, "No, I call that right." But he's not brave. He's a coward and listens to VAR. And so is a coward because he saw it all in live time, and B is a coward because he just admits the fact that he was clearly and obviously wrong. So I think if he's clearly and obviously wrong when he saw it perfectly, then he should just not ref anymore.
Correct. Also, well, so this was Joel's point, was because VAR exists, he didn't call the foul originally.
That's terrible.
I think that's the worst statement that you can make. If that's true about VAR, then it needs to be done with. Then I'm over it. We don't need it anymore. If the refs aren't making calls because they know VAR will make the call, then that's not what VAR is there for. VAR is there for to confirm your calls.
Yeah, it's the same thing that with the Declan Rice penalty, is that like Michael Oliver is staring at it. And the fact that Michael Oliver from 5 yards away can't tell that's a foul is kind of incredible.
Yeah.
And so
it's
the same thing.
I did only see one of the PGMOL does come out with their videos. Howard Webb does come out with his videos. Nothing about the Chelsea game, nothing about the Spurs game.
It's probably too soon. You know,
they
probably stopped at the last weekend, and we'll probably get this group of games with the final at the very end.
Maybe
if they do it at the end.
They only did one of the Forest game, and the ref is yelling, "No, Ashley Young got the ball. Ashley Young got the ball," and you see it. Ashley Young gets none of the ball. He maybe Callum Hudson-Odoi was running parallel and then cross pass, and that's why Ashley Young hit him, and it was incidental contact. So it's the same foul.
Oh, you're not allowed to. According to James, you're not allowed to cross pass.
Well, that's why it wasn't a foul. Okay, Sean, because the defender has a right to that space.
That makes sense.
But he's like, I wish they would have gone and seen that and just verified.
So
you have to call wrong. Just say it.
One thing I will say about the foul that was called in the Chelsea Villa match is that it is shoulder to the back of the Villa player. So Badiashile's shoulder does go into the shoulder blades of the Villa player, and so you can barge shoulder to shoulder. So if your shoulder is going to another player's shoulder and you barge each other, that's legal. But shoulder to back is technically not legal. So I could see them making that claim for that specific call. I thought it was a soft call personally.
It's in the penalty box on a corner. You can make that call 20 times out of 20. Like that happens. That's the worst part of this whole thing, is that 20 times out of 20 on a corner kick, that's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the whistle should be blown on every single corner kick then.
Exactly. It's a very fair point.
Look, I just want something. I just want clarity on what is and isn't a foul. I don't want to have to guess every week what's going to happen. Because look, earlier in the season, Sterling's running free on goal, ball comes over the top. Bournemouth's defender barges through him with his shoulder into his back, not called. So like, and now this is a foul.
Yeah, I mean,
so
the refereeing in England is super inconsistent.
I just want some consistency. That's it. I think that's all we've ever asked for. And if VAR is not going to be consistent, then cool. Get it out the game and we can just talk about how bad the refs are and not have this back and forth. Like, cool. Talking about how bad refs are, that's in every single sport.
Yeah.
But we have to go even further because VAR is there to correct all of this. Couple things on the other games. We have our first team relegated.
True.
Newcastle United relegated Sheffield United with a 5-1 smashing. Oh my gosh, that was bad.
I have some bad news on the relegation front for Sean.
That's true.
It's official that Neil Mope will not get the double relegation that he's so longed for. So Everton are legally safe.
Unfortunate.
Are officially safe. Everton are officially safe. Cannot be relegated.
So unfortunate.
So
unfortunate.
I don't think Brentford can be relegated either.
Yeah, I think it comes down to Luton Town, Burnley, and Nottingham Forest. So those are the three teams vying for the final two relegation spots. Can we quickly pour one out for Liverpool? I tried desperately to get a Liverpool fan on today because, well, I think I talked about it before this whole Spurs thing blew up. I would have loved to have Jimmy to talk about Liverpool.
This is the reason why the refs, specifically Michael Oliver, were protecting Arsenal so much, because Liverpool have shit the bed the past week and a half. And they decided, oh, well, we cannot have 2018 over again. We can't have Manchester City beating United by 20 points ever again. We need drama. So we need Arsenal to keep pace. This is why Michael Oliver adjudicated the game the way he did.
Dude,
because Liverpool suck. It's your fault, Jimmy. It's your fault, Tamzeed. It's your fault. Liverpool stink. So Michael Oliver decided Arsenal have to win.
You guys know that meme from the "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia" meme, where one of the characters, I don't know the character's name, but he's in front of that whiteboard. It's got all the strings going everywhere, and he's kind of like crazily explaining.
Yeah.
This is what Sean thinks is
Charlie Day.
Yeah, this is what Sean thinks is happening, in the PGMOL like locker room. He's like, oh, like we can't. It's like all of the insane things that have to happen for Sean to be vindicated about this vast conspiracy is incredible.
I started out not conspiracy theory in the early part of the year, and then I was just like, oh, we'll get it back later in the year, and then it kept happening and kept happening and kept happening and kept happening and kept happening, and now here we are, and it still is happening, and it is a conspiracy. It is like I thought it was, and then I was like, nah, we'll get it back. We'll get our own fair share of calls, and then me and Joel were able to come up with 2 instances where we benefited from something. 2 all year. 2.
You know what? I think the refs
You're down bad, bro. You're down bad, bro. You're down extremely bad if that's where you're at right now.
But let's get off this conspiracy and get into this Liverpool downfall. Klopp limping out of the Premier League.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily surprise me, especially after the loss. The defeat at Everton is what killed them. So they lost 2-0 at Everton. And then it kind of seemed like the wheels were always coming off the bus at that point, because these players aren't playing for anything anymore. There's there's literally nothing left for them to play for. And it's just like, why would they get stuck in, other than like being consummate professionals? Like, it's really hard to like build yourself up to go. West Ham have things that they're fighting for. They're trying to get into Europe. And so like they're playing really hard trying to pick up points. And so when they rock up to West Ham, it starts to get a little bit tough. It doesn't surprise me that there's a mentality slip. I think the bigger thing about this West Ham thing is the bust up that Jurgen Klopp and Mo Salah had.
For not shaking hands. Apparently, Apparently, Klopp didn't like how long it took and what the handshake was from Salah. That's what started it all.
Yeah.
Or rumor says.
My read of the situation is that Klopp was frustrated that it took Salah so long to get ready to come on. That's kind of how I read it.
I mean, I like look, Klopp is vibing. He's managing on friendships now, right? Because like 3 games left in his tenure. This is the problem with saying so early, "Hey, I'm retiring. I'm not coming back." Is that like as you get closer to the end, unless you are in the thick of it, like running for something, they're going to cool off naturally. And they are. Liverpool is 1 point away from top 4 qualification guaranteed.
Are you sure about that? I think Liverpool guaranteed it.
If it, depending on goal difference, Tottenham can get to 75 points.
Yeah, it's like a 25 goal swing or something like that.
Yeah. 21 goal swing in 5 games, which could be possible with Ange.
You said Tottenham? And if Tottenham have 15 goal difference, Liverpool have 41.
Strong math.
Okay, just checking.
Why you say fuck me for?
Because I'm trying to say that you guys could pass Liverpool still. You just need to get 26 more goals.
Eventually, yeah.
This year, you're not getting any goals on Thursday, but besides that, or on the day this launches, day after
tomorrow.
Sorry, tomorrow. I messed up our schedule. When this launches tomorrow, you won't get any goals in that game. But then the next 6 games, we're here for you getting 21 goals.
Honestly, we're all Spurs for the rest of the season.
No. We can be all Spurs next week. Next week's pod, we can be all Spurs.
What are you guys even fighting for?
7th?
It seems really long. Anyway, we'll see.
If we win, that's 51 points. Yeah. We're close.
I don't even want to.
We're close enough.
Just all right.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Sure, Brad. You guys are fighting for 7th. All right. We are done. Get your comments down below. Let us know what you guys thought about all of the controversial VAR situations from the North London Derby. And let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Hit us up on Twitter. Up top, that's at KSBradG. Down below is Whiteheart_Sean. I'm at James Tiffany. Brad is interjecting.
Who, in the comments below, who won the debate?
That's less important.
Was it James or Sean?
So I would argue that that's less important who won our debate. I think it's more interesting what you guys think about the calls than who you guys think did a better job at convincing you that their point was right.
Fine. Let's do both.
Sure.
Who won the argument and why did you agree with them? There. Got both in there.
Okay.
Long comments. That's what we want.
Hit us up on all of our socials at redcard_radio, and check back tomorrow. We've got a preview of the upcoming games. We will see you guys soon. Have a good one.